For this problem, we're looking at a savings account that has an initial value of $50 and it's growing at a 2% interest rate compounded n times per year, t, according to the function here. Okay, so to figure this question out, I'm going to show you a handy little graph here. Now what this graph is showing us is the number of years along our x-axis and the amount of interest earned in dollars in the y-axis here. And you can see that there's 4 different graphs based on how often the interest rate or the account is being compounded in the year. So yearly is the green one, and then quarterly, monthly, and continuously. So you can see what happens here is when an account is compounded more frequently, it's getting closer and closer to this nice curve, which represents what would be happening if the account was compounded continuously. So the idea with this problem is to identify the fact that as n is being increased, which is the number of times per year the account's being compounded, you are getting closer and closer to continuously compounded interest, which should hopefully ring some alarm bells in your head that we're dealing with a specific formula, the continuously compounded interest formula, which looks like this. So A equals the amount, P is the principal amount, E is our lovely constant E. R represents our rate of interest in as a decimal, and T is our time. So because we figured out that we're dealing with a continuously compounded equation here as n increases, this is what we're approaching. So in this situation, our principal amount is 50. Our interest rate is 0.02 as a decimal. And we can see that this matches option number 2. That states that as the value of n increases, the value of the account approaches the function 50 multiplied by e to the power of 0.02t. Now we know this is the case because as n is increasing, we're getting closer and closer to a situation of continuously compounded interest. Just a fun little math fact for you, that mathematical constant e was actually discovered when someone was analyzing compound interest. So some of you may not realize that's how that number came about, but it's a pretty cool number. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hope that was helpful, and thanks for visiting JD's Preparation.